We got the man here ready now.
Can you hear
I'll
me?
let you do the intro.
We
What's
hear you
going on?
perfect. The legend
What's
Jack
going on,
McClinton in
fellas?
the building.
What's
Good
going
morning,
on?
Jack. Good morning, Jack. How you doing, man?
I'm great. How you guys doing?
Doing great, man. We got over 1,000 here live watching us. So, guys, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We have Canes great Jack McClinton. He was on the call last night for the Canes win over Elon. Before we get started, Jack, you're a man who's involved in a lot of different businesses, a lot of different things out there.
Right.
So, every week when you come on with us here, I want to give you an opportunity to kind of, promote a lot of the stuff that you're involved in right now. So let the people know, man, where can they connect with you and, kind of take a look at some of the stuff that you're involved in right now?
Yeah, I mean, you can connect with me on Instagram, obviously, Manifest McClinton on Instagram. Active Dreamers is the business account. And you can go to activedreamers.com to check out the stuff I'm doing. My latest invention is a children's shoe right now, where it's just basically inspiring the kids to dream bigger. If you're thinking about the children's shoe market, there's not a shoe specifically targeted to children. And, I'm around a lot of kids and I like to inspire kids. So, I wanted to create something that the kids could feel and put on and their imagination could come out.
Look at this. We got the Active Dreamers. We got the Cloud Ballers right here on the screen. So you guys can go check that out. ActiveDreamers.com. Man, these things look slick, Jack. I love them. I've been seeing the pictures on a lot of the kids that have been wearing them, man. These are sick.
I appreciate it, man. Keep your heads in the cloud. I always say the sky is not the limit. But let's get to the nitty gritty. Let's talk about the
Yeah.
Hurricanes. Let's enough about me. I appreciate that, but we're here to talk about the Canes. Let's talk about that.
Last night you were on the call, Jack. I mean, you've been on the call for a few of these games early on here this season. Early impressions of what you've seen.
Obviously, the first look when you look at the University of Miami basketball team, we're a lot bigger than we have been in the past. Bigger guards, bigger point guard and Trey Donaldson, big wings and Shelton Henderson, big bigs and Ernest Uday and Malik Renew. And, I think this team is great in transition. Obviously, you see the basketball in the half court. They still have some work, and it's a whole new team. So, obviously, when it's a whole new team, you got to get to feel each other out. But in transition, it's one of the best teams in the country.
Jack, with Shelton Henderson, 5-star freshman, there were a couple points in yesterday's game where he kind of was the man out there. There was a loose ball and he would grab it, finish and one, like really imposing his physicality despite being a younger player. What do you see from him in his future?
I mean, obviously, sometimes there's a lot of pressure coming in as a 5-star athlete, high expectations. But you could see that Sheldon Henderson's ready to be out there and ready to play. He's coming out there playing like as if he's a senior or a junior, knocking down open shots. And first thing is taking the open shot. A lot of times you look at guys that come in and they're like, oh, man, I'm a freshman and me, I shouldn't shoot that shot. But he's supremely confident. He's let the ball fly, and it goes in when you let it fly.
I gotta say, Jack, we could use a little bit of that perimeter shooting that you brought to the Canes for so many years. But when I watch this team offensively, the ball's not sticking. You don't see a lot of ISO ball. The ball movement's been great. There, guys seem to be getting to the spots that they want to get to. And look, obviously, you had the Florida game. It's a different level of athlete that you're going against. But offensively, what have you liked early on this season from this team?
I think you hit it on the head. You look at last year's team, we had a lot of individual players, a lot of guys that were very talented individual scoring. Not saying that this team isn't, but I think one thing that Jay Lucas has done is say, look, we don't want the ball to stick. Because Jay's preparing these guys for the next level. Jay's lineage of his dad being in the NBA, being around that, at the highest level, the ball does not stick. And Jay has the ball moving. And always a moving basketball is a lot harder to guard than a basketball that's pounding on the ground.
With Malik Renew, he's kind of got a unique game, right? Because he's a post player around the basket, but he's more power forward body, just does a lot of different things and brings a real good energy to the team. How do you see him fitting into this offense and building that offense around really what he does?
Use the word fitting in. I say he is the key to fit into this offense. When he gets gone, I mean, this team is a much better team. I would like to see him shoot that three ball a little bit more. Like, he has a lot of opportunities where he's catching on the perimeter and he's not stepping into his shot ready to shoot. A lot of times he catches it, thinks about it, he may shoot or he may pass. I think when he gets it going on the outside, it's going to make his inside game a lot easier.
True Washington, Jack, is someone who we were talking about the other day. He came in here and there was talk about him as an on-ball defender, but his offensive game has I mean, I think he's shown he's been more than capable early on this year. He's someone who's been consistently hitting down outside shots for Miami. What have you seen from him early on?
I mean, I call True just a automatic bucket. You know, you need guys in your team that you could put in the game or start a game and say, you know what, go get me a basket. If you notice the first play of the game yesterday, True got the ball, got downhill, got in the paint and finished. And you want to see that from your guard that's on the wing. Not only can he knock this open shot down, he can get paint touches. That's a big key to any basketball team. If you can get in the paint and you can bring the defense in and look out to your other players, that's what you want to see. And True is super aggressive offensively, and that's going to help the Canes down the road, hopefully when they get to March.
We got a comment here from Sean Joseph Davis. Says, big ups, Jack. Remember you coming down to St. Thomas for the Paradise Jam. You and Jimmy Graham got live on the court down there. Good to see you thriving, brother.
Yeah, appreciate it, Sean. Appreciate that, man. It's all about the you, baby.
JW Hurricane says, he says Jack's step back jumper made people look silly. You guys, I'll post this clip. I'll repost it on CanesInSight today. Jeff Teague was talking about Jack yesterday. He said, listen, you said James Harden, his step back was deadly. It was step back Jack was the one who really created that.
Yeah, for sure, man. You know, back then when I played, there wasn't social media, there wasn't Instagram, so there was no, a clip showing over and over again. But if you go on to YouTube, you type in my name, you'll see that step back. And I'm just thankful to have the opportunity to have my peers and guys that I played with, give me my flowers, and it means a lot to me.
One thing I want to ask you about, Jack, is at the game yesterday, obviously, Coach L's kind of there front and center. You're on the call with our boy Kyle Seeloff. I'm pretty sure I saw Robert Flight Height in the crowd right next to me. It feels like you're starting to see a little bit more of a culture since, the success has been better in recent years, starting, with what you were able to do and Coach L kind of keeping that thing going. Like, do you feel like there's starting to be that basketball culture where, look, football obviously had a big head start, but you're seeing a family out there that's making themselves at home in Jay Lucas's program?
Yeah, I think you definitely see that, and I think Jay Lucas came from Duke, which is they're all about the brotherhood. It's all about bringing alumni back and creating that aura around the program. Because when you look in the stands, you see former guys in the stands, you see Coach L on the court. It makes you feel like I'm a part of a family. It makes you feel you have the advantage playing at home. And obviously, I think that's something really big that Coach Jay Lucas wanted to do is provide a family atmosphere. He always says any former players that want to come to practice, it's open door policy. So that's a great thing by a new coach coming in and helping guys and opening his arms to everyone.
Jack, looking forward here, got Delaware State Sunday, but then you've got a real opportunity that next week playing against BYU. And then you obviously have Georgetown and Dayton in the same tournament in Orlando. Those early season matchups, obviously you had one against Florida. But if you're in these guys' shoes right now, how important is this game to know, hey, this is going to be a resume building sort of opportunity for March, even though it's so early in the season?
Yeah, I think it's always a great game, but obviously when I played, you don't want to put that added pressure on you saying, this is a resume builder. It's another game that they're going to have to play, and they're going to have to do the things that they didn't do right against Florida, which is a top 10 team, and do them right against BYU. Obviously you got BYU with a guy like AJ DeBanza. He's a proven pro, and you could see it. And I've seen one of the one-ups that we have is that he's going to try to get his. If we can stop AJ DeBanza and stop the point guard right, I think we have a good opportunity to win the game. Obviously, that's cliche to everybody would say it, but easier said than done.
You were a transfer. Transfers are not new to the University of Miami, but the fact that a whole new team, like literally, everybody in the building pretty much brand new, is on the floor. There's an adjustment period. What do you think that's like to build a new team from scratch like Jay Lucas has to do here?
Yeah, one thing about this team, if you really look in depth with this team, like a lot of these guys are from Florida. So I'm a big energy guy. I'm a big frequency guy. And when you bring guys from the same place and you start your team building off, hey, look, you're playing for the state of Florida. I think that helps the growth of the team a little bit faster than getting a new team with guys from all over the place. So, it's a new team, but these guys are buying into Coach Jay Lucas's program. He's had success as the assistant coach. Obviously, he's a head coach now, and I tremendously believe that he's going to have amazing success as a head coach.
Man, one guy who's really sticking out to me right now, who seems to be getting more comfortable every game, Jack, is Dante Allen. Really brings some nice size to that guard position, some toughness, and seems to be making winning plays.
Yeah, I mean, look at Dante Allen. He started at Riviera Prep. Great friend of mine, Tony Shabazz, Vicky Shabazz. They're over at that program. He's a great coach. And I think a lot of times you see the guys that come in as freshmen early, you can tell they had great coaching coming up. Not saying that guys come in that are not good or not as good as they thought they would be. I think a lot of it has to do with coaching have accountability. You look at Dante Allen, he listens, he gets downhill, and he plays basketball the right way. And that's what you want to see with the freshman. You don't see Dante Allen out there trying to create, go one-on-one, shoot threes. He gets the ball, attacks downhill. He gets the ball, attacks. It don't have none. He kicks it out. He knocks down open shots. That's what you want to see in a freshman. And I look at Dante Allen, that guy's a bona fide pro in my eyes.
Obviously, this team's improving in a lot of areas and they're working on everything. But is there one area or two, just something you focus on, say, hey, this is an area they really got to get better as they head into ACC play and improve?
Yeah, I think the biggest area for me is outside shooting. And it's not that they may not can knock down the shot, but I want to see them take more threes. Because once you get a couple threes going, maybe in transition, hit a couple threes and take your threes earlier, that changes the whole dynamic of the team that's playing you defensively. I would like to see the Canes shoot more threes.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat because you see, like you mentioned, Malik's shot doesn't look bad when he takes it with confidence, right? It's not like a broken jump shot. So I think when that little doubt is removed from their mind and they can just start letting it fly, it will change the way. And I think you saw last night with Shelton Henderson, man, if he can start knocking down a couple threes like that a game, it's going to change the way that teams defend Miami.
100%. And like I said, everybody's shooting threes now. The best teams in the country, you are a three-point threat. And, like somebody just commented, threes open up your offense. If I can knock down a three, now this guy's come at me on a closeout, I can punt fake, couple dribbles, get in the paint, and then find a layup, a lob to my big man Ernest, or kick it back out to another shooter. So, like you said, shout out to bagging up 40. Threes open up your offense, man, for sure.
Yeah, and you keep talking about just the confidence when it's open, and obviously that's something you lives, right? When you played, you did not have too much of a conscience when it was there. A guy like Timo, number 88 from Slovakia, it seems like he's a little bit timid right now. He's coming from Europe. It's a different situation. He's adjusting a lot. Do you see him and maybe some other guys having more in the tank once they do get that confidence to put it up when it's open, to attack when they close out? Like, do you see that there's still more room to grow there?
Yeah, for sure. Timo's an amazing shooter. You saw that the first couple games. I think it was the game before last. He may have had 2 or 3 threes. And one thing you see with good shooters, they do not hesitate. When you see a guy hesitate, that means that they're not either confident or they're not ready to shoot. I always say, when the ball is in the air or the ball is swinging, you got to be ready to shoot before that ball leaves a guy that's passing you the ball. A lot of times our guys are standing straight up, not ready to shoot. But I think Timo could be a huge, huge help in the perimeter because, once again, he's a tall guy. He can shoot over guys, and he's a smart player. A lot of times these European players, they play the right way, and I go back to coaching early. He's been playing pro for a while. So look for him to be a huge major plus for University of Miami.
Joel Warren, who, by the way, Jack, Joel played at Miami in the late 80s. So Joel is a guy who is a commenter here on our show. He said, I like what the small lineup looks like. Love Solly, but he says might be better for offensive flow. I thought it was interesting. Obviously, Ernest was out last night, but that lineup did give you some interesting looks there.
Yeah, I think, the lineups all depends on who you're playing. And obviously, if you're playing a team that's big, you can't really go small because at the end of the day, if we're not shooting the basketball the way we want to shoot it, a small lineup doesn't really do anything for you. But, that's a great example of, you put the right lineup in and you can have the advantage. And that goes back down to coaching. I'm sure Jay knew, you know what? He could have started the big yesterday, but he started Dante Allen. So looking at that lineup and looking at that Elon team, they didn't really have a huge big that would go inside. They had a lot of bigs that wanted to play on the perimeter. So that was a great adjustment by Jay Lucas.
And then, Jack, you're from a recruiting hotbed there in the DMV. And I know that on the broadcast, I was at the game, but just talking to people in the comments, hearing people talk about the broadcast, they mentioned that you did a great job of recruiting for Miami. You do a little bit of tampering, maybe a little bit. And obviously, you're living the life. You embrace the Miami lifestyle in terms of the business, the connections, everything. I mean, it's everybody that knows you or seen you has seen that.
Right.
Why should these big time recruits with the world at their fingertips and all these options consider the University of Miami going forward?
Yeah, for me, you use the word tampering. It was just me being supremely authentic and organic. I always say University of Miami changed my life. It's one thing where you could wake up every day and see, beautiful sunshine, palm trees. That does something to your energy. And not only that, like the University of Miami overall family, they keep you inside this hotbed in this family where obviously after sports or before sports, you can always go out there and leverage your network. And that's one of the biggest things that I try to tell the young kids now, don't put so much pressure on yourself about basketball. Put pressure on yourself to be able to make these connections. Then basketball becomes second nature.
Hey, this is great word of advice for the athletes out there, man. They're making a lot of money right now, Jack. They're
Making
making
a
a lot
lot
of
of
money.
money, man. I was a little bit too early, bro. I was a little bit too early, but hey, I'm glad that I can be around and kind of give these guys some knowledge on how to carry themselves and on the court and off the court. Like I said, it's very important to be how you carry yourself on the court. But a lot of times people say keep the main thing the main thing. But the main thing is you need to look at yourself as a CEO. To all the athletes out there, you're not a basketball player anymore. You are a CEO of your own business. They're paying you like a professional, like a CEO. So you need to move like that. You can't just think, oh, I'm an athlete, I got to get 20. No, you got to make 20 contacts off the court as well.
And when the leaders of the team, like I look at the leaders of this team, I'm not in the locker room, obviously, but just from the outside, you definitely have more insight than I do in terms of the dynamics of this team. But feels like Renew, Uday, Donaldson are really those leaders right now. And they're such serious guys, serious competitors. How important is it when your leaders are out guys that are laying it all on the line and really doing things the right way, your best players?
Yeah, 100%. Not only they're the best players and leaders, they're the most mature guys. They've been through it. These are tournament tested guys. And you want your guys that have experienced it to feed that on to the newcomers and let them know, like, look, this is what it's going to take for us to be able to march in March. No pun intended. We want to run in March, but this is what it's going to take. And you want your guys that are at the top of the totem pole that come in that experienced it to kind of be those leaders emotionally and physically.
D, you got anything else for Jack before we let him go?
Just appreciate it. And again, any other shout outs you want to get on? I know you're deep in business, so anything you want to get out there. We got almost 1,100. We got more than 1,100 on right now talking Kane Hoops. The energy around the program right now is crazy and only building.
Yeah, I would say I want to shout out my guy Al at Shadow Wagyu. Before every game that I'm commentating, I always go there, give me a good meal. Might get a Gucci or something, but I'm in there with my boy Al. Great meal. If you haven't been to Shadow Wagyu in the Gables, you might want to go check it out. That's my pregame meal. And once again, shout out to active dreamers, to all the dreamers out there. No dream is too big. Just go out there and get it. It's all about the youth, baby.
Those shoes, man. Go get those shoes for your kids, man. Cloud
Get
ballers.
the kicks. They make you jump, dunk, and you get that funk. In a good way.
Jack, appreciate you, Jack. We're going to make this a regular thing, man.
All right,
so
no problem, man. Appreciate you.
Have a good one. Have a good one, man. Great stuff.
Awesome, man. Electrifying. I'm juiced up. I was tired when I was at that hour 30 mark. Now I'm ready to do another 3, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, listen, people are loving the energy. Jeff Lynn says, Jack interested in coaching eventually. Everyone's loving it, man. Joel says, nice work, Jack. So, yeah, man, definitely going to make this a regular thing. He's around. He calls the games. He's in there. He knows what's going on. And obviously, you guys just saw the energy is always great with him. So,
real quick before we get out of here, Martin's asking, where's the BUZZN app before it gets banned? Need me some. There's been some stuff in the news about THC drinks. There's still a year before that goes final, and I'm hearing good things that THC drinks will be excluded, but doesn't matter now. It's not in effect. They got a year at least. So you want to get ahead of it, man. You want to order some cases at Drink BUZZN. That's Drink BUZZN, real THC infused seltzers right there. Again, drinkbuzzn.com. You can order it there. Use code FIRST35 for 35% off. Plus, if you want to buy it in stores, they got it right there at the Big Daddy's Liquors all over South Florida. That's BUZZN, BUZZN, drinkbuzzn.com. Still very much legal, still very much available, and I don't think it's going to go anywhere. Obviously, if anything changes, we'll keep you posted, but BUZZN is rocking and rolling, so get it at drinkbuzzn.com.
All right, D. I gotta hop off here. I guess we're gonna wrap this thing up now.
Oh yeah, D-Huck says new Storm Sessions just dropped with me and Jacoby Thomas. So check that out on the official University of Miami YouTube. Jacoby Thomas, awesome interview, great kid, country music fan, by the way, my guy.
There you go. All right, everyone. Appreciate you for tuning into 2-hour show today, D. We went big for Friday, and it's not even 11 yet.
It's a sandwich show. We win yesterday, we win tomorrow, baby. That's how we do it.
All right, everyone. Appreciate the support. Hit that like and subscribe. Go Canes.
Go Canes.